sketch the set in complex plane. The complex plane are made up with the real part and the imaginary part. The real part is the horizontal axis and the imaginary part is the vertical axis. The horizontal axis consists of real numbers and the vertical axis consists of imaginary. And on the right hand side of 0 is positive real, on the left hand side of 0 is negative real. Above 0 is positive real and below 0 is a negative real. We want the sets of real numbers such that the real part is less than or equal to 0. That means the real part is on the left hand side of the vertical line. Everything on the left hand side. Also, the imaginary part has to be greater than or equal to 0. So this time, once we filter out the real parts, which is everything on the left hand side of the vertical axis, we still need to filter out everything that is above the horizontal axis so that we obtain the imaginary part to be greater than or equal to 0. Everything above the horizontal axis. Technically, when we graph this, we only graph the second quadrant. And since equality is in both of these statements, we would use solid line. Anything in the second quadrant, including the axis as well. Any numbers in this quadrant has a negative or 0 real parts and positive and 0 for the imaginary part. A number that is less than or equal to 0 is called non-positive. A number that is greater than or equal to 0 is called non-negative. For z equals a plus bi, where a is greater than 1 and b is greater than 1, this time we want the real part to be greater than 1 without the equal sign. So we would have to use the broken or dashed line. And we want everything on the right hand side of this line. For b greater than 1, we would go to the imaginary part, which is 1i, and we would take everything above this horizontal line. The intersection of the two is the region in the first quadrant. And again, usually when we sketch these, we only show the part that they both have in common. We don't need to filter both, just like we did in the previous example, although it is clear if we were to do it this way.